What's up guys, PDC here. This is going to be a recording of the replay of me versus Heist or the BD 1998 for the Battle Royale. This is the first game I played. Heist is a very good player, very well known, regarded as one of the best DPPers there is, and black and whiters as well, and overall best players because of the way he plays and the way he builds. This is for Battle Royale. This is a tournament where it's basically a free-for-all. It's a single elimination tournament. You lose one game, best of one, you're out, and you cannot reject the challenge. I'll link the thread in the description if you are interested in looking at the rules and stuff. So I'm just gonna get this right started. This is a DPP game because Battle Royale was actually selected to be DPP, not ORAS or Modern Gen or Gen 5. So I'm gonna go ahead and start the game off. Now I decided to go ahead and lead off with my Machamp here. And he decided to go ahead and lead up with his Rotom, which is an interesting lead here. But I'm going to go ahead and go out to my Heatran on the switch here. I guess he expected me to be Lum or something like that. And I was too afraid that he was going to whisk me right off the bat. So I just went straight out the Heatran. He goes at the Nidoqueen. Now this immediately puts him into an advantage in the game. And I go straight out to my Rotom Wash here to tank an Earthquake or something that he throws at me. Now he's going to go ahead and go for the Earthquake. And this is a Life Orb Rotom Wash, which is usually pretty decent against most stall teams and builds. And I'm going to go ahead and fire off a Life Orb Shadow Ball just to weaken the Nidoqueen a bit, because Nidoqueen is indeed an annoying Pokemon for my team to face. Shadow Ball doesn't really do all that much though, but I do get his lucky special defense drop, which is going to probably, or at least potentially, force that Nidoqueen out, or at least limit the amount of hazards and health it can get up and keep. So I'm going to go ahead and withdraw my Rotom Wash. I realize that this is going to be a hard game to win, but I need to keep my offensive pressure up to the maximum in this game. So I need to make sure that I'm constantly on the offensive and constantly have the advantage in the game. Now I'm going to go ahead and set up my Stealth Rock here in the Heatran double, and Heist is going to go ahead and do the same with his Blissey. Now, I figure this is pretty much a free switch out to my Machamp, which cannot get Thunder Waved or Whisked by Rotom or Blissey, and I know it can definitely scare it out. So I realize that this Machamp is going to be pretty dangerous against his team. And he goes for the soft build, maybe expecting the explosion, but I do get the advantage of the switch with Machamp, and Machamp is a pretty big threat to his team, and I am going to predict him to go out to his Nidoqueen here, which he does, and I'm going to go ahead and slam it for about 50% with the Ice Punch. Nidoqueen is going to be rather weakened from that hit, which is really good for me, because Nidoqueen is rather annoying for my team. But it is basically dead at this point, so I got to predict right on that play, and Nidoqueen basically goes down from this turn on, and I realize that I'm going to have to predict very well to make sure that Heist does not regain any sort of advantage versus me. Now, Heist is going to go ahead and switch out to his Skarmory here, which was a good play on his part. He's playing around the Machamp quite well, although he did get the desired damage from on the Nidoqueen. And I know Machamp is definitely going to spread a little bit, however little that may be, damage to his rest of his team through moves in the Stealth Rock. So I figure, alright, I could pay back here, I could go for the Dynamic Punch, and honestly, this is probably a too safe of a move for me, far too safe for me. The right play was probably the payback for me, but instead I just went with a Dynamic Punch straight up, which really was not the best decision. If I paybacked, that definitely would have made the game a lot easier for me to win. Because if I predicted a little more ballsy, then the chances of me winning would have definitely gone up. Or at least the chances of me thinking I had an advantage to win would have definitely gone up from that point onward. But I'm going to go right back out to my Life Orb Rotom Wash. I'm figuring that, alright, this guy probably is Whisk, probably Breast Hawk, probably does not have Shadow Ball, so my Rotom Wash can come in here freely. And we're going to go into a sequence of Pokemon and plays that you're going to see last for quite some time. Now, I am going to speed this up a bit, because basically what happens here is me trying to weaken his Blissey from Thunderbolts and gain momentum, and I realize that I can Pain Split up my health, so I'm just going to skip these couple of turns until something actually happens that is different. You're going to see this happens for quite some time. Basically what I'm doing here is trying to gain enough momentum or get Impaired on a turn where I can switch in a Pokemon that can force out Blissey while wasting some of his PP and stuff like that. So as you'll see, this T-Bolt Pain Split games happens until I decide to switch out into my Dragonite on a turn that he goes for the Soft Boiled. I go for the Superpower and I manage to take out the Nidoqueen. But my Dragonite getting damaged to this extent, especially considering now it is going to be unable to beat Blissey at -1. This is not very good for me. I do not like having my Dragonite weakened in the slightest. especially considering it is one of the only real stall-breaking forces I have on this team, especially considering, surprise, surprise, my Heatran lacks Explosion. Now, I go out to my Scizor here. I was hoping that maybe I can manage to scare the Blissey off. He makes a really good play in Thunder Waves here. I figure, alright, he probably is either going to still switch out, which he does here, because I don't think he would want to take something like a Superpower or a CV U-turn from a Scizor, because I'm obviously slower, so that U-turn is going to hit last, or whatever I choose is going to hit last. And I do get paralyzed in the Gliscor switch, which is quite annoying for me, as that killed my momentum severely, which is really the only thing allowing me even getting this far in this game, because my team really is not that well equipped for breaking stall like Heists. I am going to go out to my Rotom Wash though, and I realize that I really have to start pressuring Heist to the fullest extent that I can. So he's going to go ahead and withdraw his Gliscor and goes out to his Blissey here. And I figure, alright, I'm going to play it safe for now, because I don't really have anything else that I can really do. I could have doubled there, but then again, I guess this would have just led to Mind Games with D-Knight. And I realized that Rotom Wash probably wants to be healed up regardless, so this is giving me a bit of an advantage. I go for the substitute, and Blissey obviously is not going to be able to paralyze me with Thunder Wave. And Pain Split is a pretty open book. I heal right straight up to full and give Blissey a bit of damage, wasting some of his soft boils while I'm at it. But sadly, I do realize that, alright, I really don't have much of a chance to beat this Blissey with this Rotom Wash, albeit I may be able to annoy it without something like T-Spikes. Beating this Blissey with this Rotom Wash is essentially impossible. Now you're going to see me play this Thunderbolt game again until I decide to switch out here to Scizor on this turn. Now, once again, I predict the turn rather well, and he does go for the T-Wave, so this means that he's not going to be at full, and when I do U-turn, I am going to do a decent amount of damage from the leftovers. Or if he decides to switch out, he's still going to be relatively weak from the Stealth Rock. Now, he's going to go to Gliscor here, and once again, I am going to go for the U-turn with my Scarf Scizor, so it is not SD or anything like that, and I'm sure as soon as Heist saw that U-turn, he realized that this is Scarf Scizor, and he goes into his Gliscor to wall it pretty much, because there's really nothing I can do to that. And I'm going to send up my Rotom Wash. Now, Rotom Wash scared Gliscor out the first time. And will it do it again? So I'm going to switch out my Rotom Wash and go to my D-Knight, hoping that he goes with the Blissey so I can get some pressure. But Heist instead just goes for the Roost, and that is not good for me at all, because with Gliscor roosting up, I figure, alright, great, now he's going to switch out, and he's going to go to his counter, he's going to play around with me. But I do manage to drop a Draco Meteor and actually take out the Gliscor. I was really hyped that turn. I actually managed to kill the Gliscor. I was like, wow, I actually managed to get rid of it. And I was actually a really fast Dragonite there, which is why Heist was surprised. He actually said in the chat, wow, what are your EVs? And I responded with fast, because I was a fast Nixnite. I think I was near max. But luckily, I do manage to take out the Gliscor on that turn. And I switch out, saving D-Knight to my Heatran. This is to tank the Thunderbolt from Rotom. And I decide to just go ahead and straight up go out to my Heatran on the T-Bolt. And I go ahead and use Fire Blast on the Blissey. Now, here's the thing. This Heatran, I know from my perspective, lacks Explosion. But that does not mean that he knows that I lack Explosion. That's the thing. He does not know that I lack Explosion myself. So maybe I'm hoping that, okay, maybe I can pressure this Blissey a little with him thinking I'm going to explode or something like that. So I go to my Dragonite here. Dragonite is on its last leg, and I go for the Superpower, and it does quite a bit to Blissey, but it does not manage to knock it out. I'm sitting here like, oh no, now he's going to soft-boiled up, and I'm going to lose. But Heist makes a bit of a misplay here and goes for the Thunder Wave. Now, I don't know if he expected me to use Roost there, which is probably what he was expecting. But Blissey is now severely weakened, and this is opening up my Rotom Wash, because all I can see is Rotom, Blissey, Skarmory, but then there's a Clefable, and the Clefable is certainly a Pokemon that I do not want to deal with on my team, and my Life Orb T-Bolts just are not going to be able to cut it and killing it, which is the problem. So this Clefable and Blissey combination is very threatening to me, and I know that this just adds another layer to the game, because Clefable is just a miniature Blissey, which doesn't take any hazard or status damage, so that's even more annoying. And it also can use stuff like Calm Mind and set up on my Rotom. Now I'm going to go out to Scizor here, and I am going to be able to scare off the Clefable as he goes out to his Rotom Heat. Now I am going to go ahead and go for the U-turn here. I get a little chip damage on the Rotom Heat there, and I realize that, okay, I am going to be able to apply a little more pressure here. And I decide to go out to my Heatran with Blissey practically dead, Clefable is the only thing that is going to be able to tank this Fire Blast, and I realized that, okay, this Heatran should be able to put some adequate pressure onto Heist's team. Now, I go over the Fire Blast here, and as you'll see, this is really where the mind games come in. Do I have Explosion or do I not have Explosion? And if I do explode in the Clefable, Heist realizes that Rotom does indeed win the game. So I'm going to bring my Heatran back, and I'm going to go out for my Scizor here. And he's going to soft boiled up. And I'm going to go ahead and just do the same thing I did last time. Because I realized, yes, I can do that. And he's going to go out to his Skarmory, which is good for me, as weakening the Skarmory with a little chip damage, plus the hazard damage is good for me. Then if I get Skarmory to a point where it's weak enough where it is going to be able to die to my hint last setup sweeper, then I realize that, okay, yeah, I'm going to be in a good position. I go back out to my Heatran here again. And I realized that, okay, I should be able to give this one last hurrah. This is going to be a really, really depressing game. If I do lose this, I need to put on as much pressure as I possibly can on Heist's team. And I go for the Fire Blast on the Clefable. It is not 2 KOing. I'm in trouble here. And I go for the Fire Blast again, and it misses. So I'm not getting enough damage on it. I can't crit it. I'm really worried at this point. I don't think there's any way I can win. And I go for the Fire Blast again, and as you'll see, the same thing happens over and over and over. Now, Heist goes for the T-Bolt on me. And I decide, okay, I don't have Explosion. Maybe he thinks I have Explosion. I'm going to give this one last go. I go for the Fire Blast here, and it misses again. He thought I was going to explode, but I didn't. And I ended up catching the Skarmory. But I missed the Fire Blast, and that sucks. And he's going to go ahead and switch out here again. And he's going to go out to his Blissey just to sacrifice it, checking if I have Explosion or something like that. And I go for the Fire Blast there, and I manage to kill the Blissey, which doesn't really matter. It's just another Mundown. But it is, I guess, in the grand scheme of things, this did allow Skarmory to take a little more hazard damage. And now he's going to go to his Clefable here. And he's going to switch out of his Clefable because he thinks I have Explosion. And he goes to his Rotom Heat. And I catch Rotom Heat on the Fire Blast. And I kill Rotom Heat. So I don't even have Explosion, but I'm putting pressure on Heist's team. And now he goes up to his Skarmory because he realizes I ran out of Fire Blast PP. But I do have HP Electric. And that's going to be able to kill the Skarmory. So now it's just Clefable, Heatran, Scizor, Rotom, and Tyranitar. Heist is going to go ahead and Calm Mind up here, but Clefable is ridiculously weak in DPP as it lacks any sort of stab to beat Tyranitar with. And this is DD-Tar, so I'm going to go ahead and Dragon Dance up. Heist is going to go ahead and go for a Soft Boil, predicting, or at least hoping, that I'm Scarf Superpower and he'll be able to stall me out. But at +1, this T-Tar is going to be able to take out the Clefable and win me the game. So as you can tell, that was a pretty good display of me putting on a lot of pressure on Heist's team. Although I really didn't have another option. I guess I really just played enough mind games with him and making him think I had Explosion or something like that. And in the end, it actually paid off. And I managed to take out the Clefable with Crunch, and I won the game. The crit pride didn't matter because I would have won anyway. All it took was 2 crunches or a Stone Edge or something like that. And because this Clefable likely lacked many defense EVs, I probably would have won anyway regardless of that crit. And I also have Sewer Power on Scizor in case. But that was the game, guys. That was the game. That was a really good game versus my friend Heist, or BD 1998. And that was for Battle Royale DPP, my favorite tier. And I hope this game shows you why I love this tier so much. But anyway, guys, more Battle Royale games to come. I'm going to upload, I think, 1 or 2 more that I thought were really specifically good games. And that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this game. I thought it was pretty intense. It sure as hell was for me when I was playing it. And that's it. Like the video, share it, do whatever. You leave a comment. Tell me what you want to see. And I'll see you guys on the next one.